Welcome to QCC's Face the Region. Face the Region is produced by Quinsigamond Community College to assist our region in attaining educational, economic, and personal prosperity. Now, here's your host, WCRN's Hank Stoltz.
Good afternoon, I'm Hank Stoltz, and this is QCC's Face the Region on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Today we're going to be talking about how you can afford college. This is something that certainly is one of the main topics for all the presidential candidates out there, the affordability of college and the way in which financial aid can help you with that. And so, to help us in our conversation, we have Michelle Tufo, who is the Dean of Enrollment Management and also the Associate Director of Financial Aid at QCC, Robin Butterfield. And thank you both for being here today.
Our pleasure.
Dean, let me start with you, if I can, please, just a little bit of an overview. Community college, as I mentioned, all of the candidates are talking about this, about how many students are getting out of college and they'll have $100,000 in debt or $20,000 in debt, whatever it may be. Students are really questioning the affordability of college. Quinsigamond Community College, one of those schools, of course, that helps students be able to pay for it. Not as expensive, perhaps, as going to some other schools, but still, for a lot of students, affordability is a real issue. Tell us a little bit about how QCC helps students when it comes to being able to afford college.
Okay, well, here at Quinsigamond, we are probably the most affordable option in the central Massachusetts area. For a student, the actual cost is somewhere between $6,200 and $7,600 for a year. And that depends on the number of credits you're taking. So full-time would be around 12 credits. To graduate within 2 years, we tell people they should probably take 30 credits a year. So that's closer to the $7,600 a year amount. But Quinsigamond's commitment to affordability goes far above what we sort of just the costs here. We look at coming here and then looking forward, what does your future entail and how might we help you get beyond your associate's degree to even a bachelor's degree? So we have many articulations. We are doing this huge push now to be able to afford your bachelor's degree for $30,000 total. So if you start at Quinsig in certain programs, you can graduate with your BA. So that is 2 degrees for $30,000.
So it seems unbelievable, doesn't it? I mean, even just saying those numbers. Well, when we're talking about, and again, Bernie Sanders was in Massachusetts over the weekend talking about this very subject, and he puts out that figure about people who owe $40,000, $50,000 a year when they get out of college, and you see the students who are there listening to the message of any of these candidates. You're talking about getting your BA for less than he's talking about. Some kids getting out of 4 years and being in debt. And this $30,000 amount is before we start to apply, what I'm going to call coupons. So, for example, that's what you'll sort of get. That's the billed price. But that's not for everyone. If you qualify for financial aid, it could be that that's not the number that is what your family is going to pay. It could be significantly less, like a lot less. In addition, Massachusetts also has, for lack of a better term, what I'm going to call coupons that you can apply to this number. So, for example, for students who complete their associate degree and keep a certain GPA, a 3.0 or better, mass transfer will allow you to take 30% off the tuition amount. So there are additional savings to be had if you apply yourself. Wow. I mean, that is fantastic. Let me turn to Robin for a moment as well, the Associate Director of Financial Aid. Robin, just what Michelle was talking about seems like such what a great bargain, what a great way to be able to afford college. There's a lot more traditional ways as well. A student who comes to Quinsigamond Community College goes down to the Office of Financial Aid and wants to talk about the affordability, whether at that moment they're thinking just about that they might be able to pay out of pocket because it's community college, and as you said, that seems to be very affordable perhaps for the first 2 years, $7,600. People are working might be within the grasp of a lot of people, or if they want to go on and they're already starting to think about some ways to pay for 4 years. When they come walking in, what are some of the questions that they ask you? What are some of the ways in which you help them with the financial aid puzzle?
great questions. We offer a walk-in service in our office, and we are open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursdays, and then 8 to 5 on Fridays. So we try to stretch our office at various working schedule demands that our students have. They will sign in. They can ask any general questions to our staff. If our front staff gets a higher level question, we have financial aid counselors available on call to assist with student questions. But if a student's looking for assistance in getting their FAFSA completed, and I'll state FAFSA is free application for federal student aid, so you want to make sure you go on the FAFSA.gov website to get that completed. We offer workshops so that students can get assistance in completing that application. That's in a group setting. We have a total of 7 workshops scheduled over the next 6 weeks, I think. They're on our website. And then we also offer one-to-one service. So if a student's not comfortable in a workshop environment and they rather have a one-to-one meeting with a financial aid person, we have a staff member from the Worcester Educational Opportunity Center come in once a week, and we set up individual appointments. So that's kind of the range of services that we try to help with those initial questions.
Robin, how complicated? I remember, and I will freely admit, 3 daughters, my wife did it all. But I can remember, the hours spent kind of looking in front of the computer and, what's our income, all of the different things that went into it. How complicated for most people to be able to get this, and how much help are you able to provide as they kind of weave their way through this process?
I think a lot of people get their heads a little psyched up about it, and you need to take your time and you need to know what documents to have readily available to get the application completed. But if you prepare, it really is a smooth process. It's changed drastically since the years I completed FAFSA, which was carbon copy paper back in the 90s. But it is done online. There's a lot of skip logic that the federal government has built into the online application, so depending on how you answer your questions, it will skip over other questions that don't apply to you. So the FAFSA really has evolved to a more simple area, but it does involve federal income tax information, and that half the time people get stressed just the thought of filing their own taxes. Right. Now you got to use that piece of information for your FAFSA.
Straight ahead, Michelle, we'll talk maybe some more about some of these steps and the way in which people can kind of be guided through the process, because that's part of what QCC does, obviously, is you're here to help. And people need to understand that. So we'll talk more about that straight ahead as we talk about financial aid here on QCC's Face the Region on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. This is QCC's Face the Region on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Today we're talking about financial aid. We have the Dean of Enrollment Management with us, Michelle Tufo, and also the Associate Director of Financial Aid, Robin Butterfield, is with us, kind of walking us through the process. And that's where I'll turn to you, if I can, Dean Tufo. Walk us through a little bit of this, some of this steps. So you come in, you enroll at QCC. We've talked some about it, obviously, already, but just the way in which any student is, as Robin was saying, you start to see these numbers. We sort of psych ourselves out sometime, but people coming to enroll at QCC.
Okay, so everyone should just sort of relax, because it really is very simple to enroll at QuinSig. You can do the application online. You can do a paper app. You can call us. We can send you a paper app. And you complete the application, where we're going to ask you some sort of information, your name and address, so that we can be in contact with you. If you don't know what you're interested in, or where you might what you might want to pursue, we have enrollment counselors that are happy to help you sort of think about where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and our sort of options for programs. So after talking with an enrollment counselor and filling out the application, what we are looking for is a high school diploma or credential. So if you have your high school diploma, you can bring that in. If you have a transcript, we'll take that. If you have not completed your education here and you've completed it abroad, we will help you get the credential that we might need from whatever country. If you are a refugee, which we have many of them here in Worcester, we will help you either test or get over getting that high school credential. So we're really here to help. So once you filled out the application, we have your high school credential, we know what it is you want to pursue. We're interested in testing, which always makes people nervous. We test so that we make sure that we're putting you where you might best be successful. So the test is a 2-hour test. You can take it together, math and English. You can take it separately if you would like. We have study materials, so if you don't remember your fractions, we can help you remember. We always tell you to sort of do some review before you take the test. And then you meet with an advisor. An advisor is going to help you set up your schedule. Do you want to be a morning student? Do you want mother's hours? Do you want to be a weekend student? Do you want to be an evening student? Are you trying to work and do that? So that discussion with your advisors really help you to make the sort of best choices around schedules and classes, and completing what it is that you want to pursue. And those are the 3 easy steps. And after that, we sort of work on, because I'm enrollment, so now that we've got you in, we want to make sure that you can also afford to be here.
Right, and that's where we'll turn back to you, Robin. You were talking to us about FOSSA. How many students at Quinsigamond Community College get some form of financial aid? Is it most students that get some form of financial aid?
Yeah, we actually award about 8,000 students financial aid. We do receive around 13,000 applications per year. So our office is really working hard to try to get as many awards out there as quickly as possible. The time frame on that can range. I always tell students, New Year's Day, get your FAFSA done with estimates. It's the best way to ensure you're meeting our priority filing deadlines. For fall, our priority filing deadline is April 1st. And for spring, our priority filing deadline just passed. It was October 1st. But those are priority filing deadlines. Those are not, you can't apply for aid afterwards. We're nice here. We'll allow you to apply any time, and we'll turn it around as quickly as possible.
You're nice. You'd like people to do it on time, though. But very nice. What are some of the other resources? I mean, FOSSA is the main one, but if it's not FAFSA, is it? I mean, I hear about all kinds of different scholarships, all kinds of different things. Does QCC offer some aid on its own?
It's great questions. Another resource that we have is FAFSA Day. On Sunday, February 21st, 2016, we'll be on this campus, and that's free assistance for anybody in the region. They don't have to be a QCC student. We have volunteers from all over the area in the financial aid field that assist students, whether they want to sit for a presentation or just come in and use our computer labs to get the FAFSA done. We also have great opportunities for scholarships here at Quinsigamond that are provided by generous donors, and they're listed on our webpage. There is an application process, and there's about, at least I'm aware of, 20 named funds. And the students have an opportunity to apply for those scholarships in fall and for spring. And we have all that information on our website as well. Just trying to think. I mean, our website lists various opportunities for students to find outside scholarships beyond Quinsigamond. There's also even YouTube videos out there that we have links to about completing income verification when your FAFSA gets selected for that. There's just so much out there to help students if they want to just take that step to go research. I think they get a little more comfortable with the process, and it won't seem as, intimidating.
Michelle, is it fair to say anybody who is out there who is listening today, the cost really should not prevent them from pursuing their college goals?
I absolutely agree. It absolutely should not prevent you. And, there are many, many people here beyond just sort of us trying to enroll you to sort of assist you with that cost. Quinsigamond has sort of a pay-as-you-go plan. Our payment plan, you can take one class and pay a monthly amount every month until you graduate. And so you can pay once a month for year-round to join our payment plan. We are really, really, really trying to make it affordable. And what we like to say in enrollment, that it's not the price that is going to keep you from attaining your goal of an associate degree at Quinsigamond.
And I would think with Quinsigamond Community College, and actually we'll probably pick it up here in just a moment, but lifelong learners. So there's an awful lot of students who are, whether they're just graduated and are looking to be here full time, or, as you just sort of described, some who may be looking for just that 1 or 2 courses.
Yeah. Especially in the technology area, if you need to just sort of come in and take a refresher in either programming or a database, or maybe you're looking to change your career and you're interested in learning more about something else, or you want to change your career and you need to get prerequisites. We have lots of people who come back for many reasons.
We'll talk more about that straight ahead right here on QCC's Face the Region on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. I'm Hank Stoltz. Thank you for joining us on QCC's Face the Region on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Today, we're at Quinsigamond Community College talking about financial aid, and we're doing that with the aid of Michelle Tufo, who is the Dean of Enrollment Management, and Robin Butterfield, the Associate Director of Financial Aid. And Robin, you know, we've talked about FAFSA. We've talked about the fact that really that the cost should not be a deterrent to any student who is out there, or mom and dad, grandma, granddad, you're listening as well. It shouldn't be a deterrent. Michelle had told us earlier, you know, and that number is stuck in my mind about the $7,600 for the 2 years really to take a full course load. That seems affordable. I mean, that seems as if there are some people out there who are probably saying, hey, you know, with the help of mom and dad, I could probably swing that, or maybe with the help of a loan, they could swing that. What are maybe some other ways that we haven't talked about yet that you can fund your college education?
Well, there's various options. With the FAFSA, students can be awarded federal student loans called the Stafford Loan Program. Some are, meaning the interest is not accruing, or the government's really paying on that interest while the student's in school. And then you have unsubsidized loans that do accrue interest while the student's in school. But you could be a millionaire and fill out a FAFSA and receive an unsubsidized Stafford loan. So, believe it or not, there is access for everyone. So, you know, some students don't look to loans as a piece of financial aid. They look to only for the federal Pell Grant. And a grant means it does not need to be paid back. A loan does have to be paid back. The federal Pell Grant, of course, everybody wants that because it is free money. If a student goes full-time for 1 year, they can receive $5,775 if they have a $0 expected family contribution. So that's a chunk of change that can cover most of our costs just on a grant. A lot of students use a combined approach here. They'll use grants if they're eligible and loans. And so students will borrow loans to cover their educational expenses. Some of our non-traditional students, you know, the students not directly out of high school, they might use student loans to assist in some of their living expenses. So maybe they don't have to work full time and they can get in here and get that degree done and move on. But there's also other options beyond the FAFSA. Massachusetts Education Financing Authority, also known as MEFA. We partner with them and do community service outreach about financial aid and about MEFA having the U Plan and the U Fund program about saving for future education for your children, grandchildren. I encourage people, if they have direct questions about those funds, to contact MEFA. I think it's MEFA.org is their website. I actually work with them and go out to local high schools and do financial aid nights. And what I want to get through is I volunteer. I don't get anything for that. Part of my reason I work at Quinsigamond is I'm committed to the mission of serving the greater Worcester community. And so Quinsigamond, you know, obviously wants to be the community college, but many of us here work not just to get people through our doors. We are here as a resource to serve the community in various ways. Just like FAFSA Day, you don't have to be a Quinsigamond student to come use those services. When I do the high school nights, you don't have to be coming to Quinsig. We are here as a resource to our community. We want to help everybody.
Honest to goodness, Michelle, when it comes to that U Fund, I'm pumping gas. And I see the ad for the U Fund. I mean, that is everywhere. So hopefully a lot of people are taking advantage of that. You know, as Robin was just talking about community, I mean, Quinsigamond Community College, and you really take that word community very, very seriously.
We do. We are in your community. We want you to use us as a resource. We welcome interactions within our community, and we want to hear back if you have an opportunity, either at one of the community events that we're doing or one of the nights that we might host. We want to hear what it is that you have to say about us, because here we are your community college, and we take that really as a core mission. So if you plan on coming to school for a class, if you want to come for a program, if you would like to come to school as a junior and do dual enrollment, And when you come here and you're walking along our campus, you will see all walks of life, all ages, all people in all different diversities, and we are a replica of the greater Worcester area. So we welcome people to come in and take a look.
We have just a moment left. When people come to you, and maybe I'll start with you, Robin, but Michelle, I might ask you the same question as well as, again, we have some limited time here. But when people come walking into the office, what really is on their mind? What's the first question that they might have?
They are nervous about how to apply and get financial aid. A lot of people are worried after the application, am I going to get any money? And usually that goes further with, I want just the free money and not the loans. And so I have a conversation of how important is it for you to reach this educational goal? Is it going to change your life plan so that you're able to, get that job and provide better for your family, or just meet a personal goal like, oh my gosh, I did this. Loans I know aren't as popular as grants, but they provide access to potentially a whole different life. And so that's a common question, I would say.
There are very many benefits to the loans, too. They're not like your mortgage, for example. So, if you're in school, you're not making payments on your loans. They're deferred. You have the ability to defer them. If you lose your job, you have the ability to forbear them. And so that's why it is financial aid, because it's not, the loan that you might take for your education is not as stringent as your home mortgage, for example, or your car payment loan.
A lot of great information. Hey, thank you both so much for being here today. And again, our guest, Michelle Tufo, the Dean of Enrollment Management here at Quinsigamond Community College, and Robin Butterfield, Associate Director of Financial Aid. And as always, thank you for joining us right here on QCC's Face the Region on News and Talk Radio, AM 830 WCRN.
This has been Quinsigamond Community College's Face the Region with your host, Hank Stoltz. Join us again next weekend on AM 830 WCRN.